thing? Well, you're not Thunderfoot, so clearly you probably only know about half of everything that there is to know. So, and that's maybe modest. So, you know half of everything. Is it possible that God exists in the half that you don't know? You certainly have to be open to that idea because you don't know. And if you don't know something, then anything's possible, right? So you might say, well, what I do know, the 50% of everything that I do know, seems to indicate that there is no God. Yeah, on what basis?
Okay, so Venomfangx says that he uses the argument that we don't know everything, couldn't possibly know everything. Some slight towards Thunderfoot that maybe he knows everything, but other than that, most people don't know everything, and he's very nice. He wants to modestly grant us a 50% of knowledge. Okay. I've drawn this little diagram based on some Platonic ideas from epistemology on what we do know, as knowledge being intersections of belief and things that we do know, belief and truth. So we have a sphere of belief, we have a sphere of truth, and also it's what I call a sphere of uh, knowledge in the sense that all that is known and can possibly be known by humans. There's some arguments that perhaps maybe we can't know everything just due to the limitations of our brains. Okay. Now, granted, as I've said before, science is not a complete enterprise. It's not complete at all. So, we don't know everything currently. So, the sphere of human knowledge is pretty small in here. Granted that it's larger, bigger, whatever we want. The goal of our learning is to push this yellow sphere small towards the blue sphere. To inch it forward, to get this belief in things that maybe are not true, to get that to shrink and to push it forward into this blue area where we can know certain things. Now, granted, any one individual cannot know the whole sphere of human knowledge at the present time. It's too vast. Nobody can know this, except for these creationists that talk on about a multitude of topics that they seem to know everything. No scientist, no philosopher, no regular person would claim to be able to speak competently on the number of topics they can. So granted, I will say that personally what I know is a small section of this humanly possible current knowledge that we have, as well as probably things that I think are true that probably aren't true, that I need a little bit more education on that. Now, and I believe this is probably true of everyone. Now, what our friend Venomfangx wants to say is that do you know half of everything? Well, since this is all I know, hopefully it expands and gets bigger over time, that I learn more things, gets into this realm. Uh, it would be nice for me to make a contribution to push this further to the right, but that's to be seen. Hopefully I can learn more of what's currently knowable. So if I can only know 50%, let's cut her down the middle. Okay. So now the sphere of what I know is even smaller. Is even smaller. So what he's saying is that does God exist in the 50% which I don't know? Well, his current human knowledge would seem to suggest that we don't have any evidence in any sort of way to know whether God exists or not, so it's not really part of this, could be part of that. And what I know personally, it's not in here, any human knowledge. And since I don't have a belief, it's not part of this area either for me. So potential knowledge of any kind of God or religious force doesn't fit on either side of this 50% line for me. Granted, it is possible it could lay in this other circle to the right, and as we move further to the right, there is a chance, albeit I would grant it small, that it may fall in this line, in this circle. Okay. Donald Rumsfeld, or as stupid as he was, he did make an accurate statement once about intelligent failures in Iraq that had led them to their problems there in Iraq. He said that there are known knowns in knowledge, making some fundamental epistemological statement. Known knowns in this current sphere. Things that we know and we know them, that they are in here. He said that there are known unknowns in a sense that we know of their existence, but we have reason to believe that they're true, but we really can't get into them right now. So something kind of in here, an unknown unknown. And then the other one that he talked about are unknown unknowns in here, over here. Well, okay, where does this God concept fall into? I was thinking about this afternoon. Well, God is not a known in the sense that we don't have, in this Platonic system, it's not only necessary that we have a belief and it's true, we need they're justified true beliefs. So that currently there is no empirical or no rational way to show that it's true, so it's not a known in any ways. Is it a known unknown? Well, we do have the concept of a God. We don't have any way to prove it or show it just yet. It could be a known unknown in that sense. However, I would say that it's not conceivable that there would be any way to prove it rationally or empirically. For example, the much sought after Higgs boson in the CERN particle accelerator, the Swiss-France border, is an example of a known unknown. Okay, we can posit the theoretical existence of it, and there's good reason to believe that this particle exists to make sense of current gravity theories at quantum levels. But the evidence for that particle is not there. Hopefully we can find it. That's an example of a known unknown. Okay. Now, can God fit into the concept of unknown unknowns? Well, we kind of have an idea of a God, so I don't know if he's really unknown in that sense. And many people make claims towards knowledge of how he is, or she is, in the sense that they know personality features about him, characteristics, if you're a theist. In that sense, he wouldn't be an unknown unknown. Be kind of known unknown, I guess, in the other sense. But I don't really think it's the same as the Higgs boson because there's no way to kind of conceptually prove it just yet. Other ways to think about it, I did have some points, but I'll get back to you on that later. So currently that's what I think that the problem is here. To sum up, my little circle here of what I know, I hope that it expands. But it will expand probably more realistically into the realms of current human knowledge. Current human knowledge will expand, but my knowledge will get a little bigger. I can't know all of this. Nobody knows all of this. Information, history, science, these are vast topics, philosophy. Religious person would like to think they can comment on all of them, but nobody can. Nobody can know all these things. But the total cumulative efforts of humans hopefully will push further to the right. And some of these things will become known as we push. The unknown unknowns will become known unknowns. We'll figure that out. So I don't see where my 50% in the existence of God and what I don't know, where it can technically fit in. If you can explain that to me in some way,